Tampa Bay Rays. All sorts of moves, cutting back payroll and all those kinds of things. And I don't have a problem with them doing that. I know a lot of people don't like what Tampa's done. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. But then Brent Honeywell, their number one prospect, who's a big pitcher, walked off the mound yesterday. They thought it was a forearm strain, and now he's got Tommy John. So there you go. Lots to still do. Again, I'm not going to get that worked up on this scandal. I'm just not. I am. We all know college athletics has been a cesspool for a million years. This has been going on forever. Players getting paid under the table. Players getting paid by agents. Players not going to school. Players to the real degree of shaving points for cash. This has been going on for a million years. I don't know what this is. What this little FBI investigation, I don't know why this is so different. I mean, what are they going to uncover? Every player in the world taking money from agents, these big high school stars from poor backgrounds who could use the money, most of them in dire circumstances, who play nothing but basketball, not necessarily interested in school, that they take 30, 40 grand from an agent as a payback when he becomes an NBA player. This is that big a deal? I mean, geez. I don't know why everybody's making such a big. I mean, again, it may not be, it may not pass the smell test, but so what? When has ever college athletics passed the smell test? Here is Darnell in Georgia. He's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Darnell, welcome. How are you today?
How you doing, sir? First time caller, and I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna give you a little history about the phony NCAA. I don't know if you ever play video games. Back about 5 or 6 years ago, there used to be a college football video game and a college basketball video game, and NCAA used to make a lot of money off these players. But I know you remember the Bannon brothers.
Well, that's the Ed O'Bannon. That's the Ed O'Bannon case. Yes, I'm aware of it.
Yes, and they sued. They sued the maker of the video game over the fact they was making money off their likeness and stuff, and they wanted to get paid. The NCAA basically, no, we're not going to pay you. In the game, and the video game was canceled because they didn't want to pay the players. So the NCAA has done it to itself. You're making millions of dollars off these kids' back. What do you expect a player to do? They say you're making millions, but they can't have a job. They can't do this. They can't do that. Okay, so if I'm a college football player coming out of high school and have an agent coming to me, okay, Jordan, I'm gonna give you $40,000. Okay, and me knowing that I can't have a job, I can't do this. I'm taking the $40,000.
Yeah, I understand.
NCAA,
yep.
NCAA is not going to give me nothing. So to me, all this is phony. And I mean, FBI should be looking into the NCAA, not these schools, because they're a bunch of crooks. That's all I got to say.
And they're not wrong. That's a good point. The NCAA, I used to think, I probably have changed. I used to think that the education should be enough of an inducement, but that's naive. I would look at it from an educational standpoint. That's basically, you figure most colleges are about 50, 60 grand a year. That's $300,000 of essentially money to go play sports. But a lot of players don't care about the education, and they want to get what they consider is rightfully theirs. And there's some truth to that. Coaches get a ton of money, but not the players. So I understand. So from that standpoint, it gets tricky. Andrew in Connecticut, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Andy, good afternoon. How are you today? What's on your mind? What do you have for me?
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Fine, Andrew. Doing well. Thank you. Let me hear what's on your mind now. Take it away.
So listen, Chris, I completely agree with you. First of all, I don't understand why these kids have to go to college for a year. They don't do it in tennis. They don't do it in golf. They want to go pro. They think they're good enough. Let them go. College isn't for everybody. I don't understand why they're forced to go to college.
Well, because they're not for. They're going to change the rule. The idea is that they wanted to stop the exodus of the great high school player right in the NBA. They wasn't doing a high school player unless you were LeBron any good, and it was hurting the college game because all the high school player thinks about is playing in the NBA anyway. So they came up with the rule. They had to be 19 before you were drafted, which meant you obviously had to go play in college for a year. The kid does not want to go, who's the great player, as you know, Andrew, that kid does not want to go to the G League somewhere and play in Sioux City, Iowa, for the 1 year because he's not 19 years of age, and he's got to do an apprenticeship in Sioux City, Iowa. So he says, why do I go to Sioux City, Iowa and play a 500 people in some stupid G League? Why don't I go play at Kentucky where they have 24,000 a night and I can play in this grand event they call the NCAA tournament? So I agree, but the kid out of high school, if he's going to have a 19-year-old moratorium about playing in the NBA, got to be 19. If you give him a choice, go play at Duke or go play in Rapid City, he's going to go play at Duke. So that's the reason why that's the reason. The ideal thing would be go learn your deal out of the G League, but they don't want to go to the G League. The G League's a disaster. It's boring, and all it is basketball. You're living by yourself in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's out watching your games. It's a bad, the concept is good, but it's not enticing enough. So the kid decides to go play in college. But so that they don't really have the tennis player can play in satellite circuits. There's a million, and he can make money. There's a million things he can do. A great tennis player can do that. The golfer can go play in all these different, different circuits. They can play in these different tournaments. The basketball player doesn't really have that opportunity. The basketball player's got to sit there and he's got to go play. The football player's got no chance because he's got to go to college for 3 years physically. The basketball player, he says to himself, do I go to Kentucky or do I go to Albany, New York? Well, he says I go to Kentucky. That's the problem.
Yeah,
there's not a minor league, Andrew, for that kid to go play in. That's the issue.
Understood, but if you're going to go to Kentucky, even Kentucky, with the joke that it is, you still got to attend some classes, and you still got to at least put on the perception that you're going to school. I feel sorry for the kids that are forced to go to college. I really do.
I get it, and that's a good call. But I don't know where the alternative is. I mean, where is the kid? I mean, again, I think the kid doesn't. He doesn't have to go. He probably could go right into the G League, and they should do that. I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that now or not. But the kid doesn't want to go to the G League. You make no money. You make $30,000 a year. I mean, the G League is a developmental scenario for kids who are not ready or good enough yet to play in the NBA. It's almost like they're 11-man. It's like the 12th man roster kind of guy. And that's what the G League is. I mean, no star plays in the G League. And what kid wants to do that? They don't want to do that. He's 17, 18 years of age. He wants to go live in the middle of nowhere in cold weather. Instead of playing in front of 23,000, give me the 23,000. I'll fake college for 6 months. I'll take the 60 grand from Andy Miller or an agent, and then I'll pay him back when I get drafted, and then I can play in the NBA. Try to be a first-round pick. So I'm going to make a team. I'm a first-round pick. They're not going to screw that up. So that's the issue. It's a mess. College athletics is a freaking mess. We take a timeout, 19 in front of the hour. Mad Dog.